What's up, everybody? Hope you're doing well on this wonderful Saturday. It's actually pretty cloudy around here, but I don't mind that. It's beautiful and it feels wonderful outside. So in this video, I'm going to discuss with you divination. Some of the ways that I do divination. I had an email from a viewer here on my channel wanting to know some of the ways that I do divination, because as you can tell, I'm pretty eclectic with my practice, so I don't really follow the book on any. I'll just kind of do my own thing, because the way I feel is all religions are pretty much the same, because if you look deep within them, they all have a certain connection. But that's a whole nother video. So this video is on divination, seeking signs, seeking guidance through some type of means of looking for a message within something. So one of the first things that I've put down here, I've got 10 things that I'll go through. One of the first things that I've put here is listening to the wind blow. Now, I know that might sound silly, but if you go outside and you have something on your mind, something you want to know about, or something you want to kind of seek guidance about in your practice or with your daily life, or just to kind of seek that reassurance in something, you want to seek the divine for the message. So what you can do is go outside and just sit and breathe, feel the air and the wind blowing, watch for signs. What I mean is sit there and just look around and listen and feel the wind, because there's gonna, most likely, you'll get a sign from the divine source that will help you determine the resolution of what you're seeking for. So just sit outside and feel that breeze and look for the signs. That's basically all there is to that one. Okay, looking at clouds, that's another wonderful way of divining. These are different ways that you can divine, of course, but looking at clouds, sometimes if you go outside and you just kind of lay down, put a blanket down, or just lay right down on Mother Earth and take your shoes off and put your feet into the grass and look up at the sky and just watch the clouds form. Watch them go into different shapes and designs, and as they're forming, most likely a sign will come to you through the clouds. It may sound silly, but it works, and you can get that inner guidance, that inner reassurance that about what you're seeking for. Yeah, so like your sign, like if you're wanting just any kind of practice in your okay, let me start over. See, that's the thing, I haven't been up long either, but when you look up at the clouds, they'll form different shapes and signs will come out of them. Sometimes I've even had letters be spelt. I remember one time I was somewhere, well, it doesn't matter where we were, but we were out kind of in the woods and sitting out, and all of a sudden it spelled go, like G-O, in the sky, in the clouds. And I was like, okay, we better go. I was thinking we better go. And within a few seconds after we started the car and started to go, another car started coming up. And this was a real private spot, so who knows what these people might have wanted to do or what, but I feel that was, a sign from source saying, we need to get out of here. We don't need to be here, because something's going to happen. So we were given that sign ahead of time, and had we not been paying attention, we wouldn't have known. But since we were seeking that, or really paying attention to signs around us, because there's always signs around us, you just got to be aware to know when they come up and when they don't. So I thought that was pretty amazing, because the clouds literally spell G-O, and I know that's wild, but yeah, it's just one of the many ways that you can seek guidance. Pond water. Okay, so pond water is really black, and a lot of people in different like maybe that practice witchcraft and Wicca and things like that, they'll talk about putting water in a cauldron or putting water in a black bowl so you can divine inside and seek messages and signs and images through the water. You can do the same thing with pond water when you're outside. Go to a pond and stare at it and look in there, and make your affirmation or your thought go into the pond water and seek that information from that. Now, you don't even have to go out there and seek anything. You can just go out there and sit and just relax and breathe and just kind of look in there and most likely, you know, a sign may come up for you if you can understand it. And sometimes it might not even make sense to you. That's why a lot of people say, and I do it too, is to write these messages down. Because maybe later on, when you look back, like a week or two later, you'll see that that makes sense again to you. So, you know, it's important to write this stuff down just so that you can go back and understand it. Now, sometimes a sign will be flat on, you know, in your face, letting you know, kind of like it's spelled go in the clouds. But sometimes it's a little bit more tricky and sometimes it's a little more riddled. So we have to, or we should at least, or think about doing, writing it down so we can go back and look. Another thing that's very common is pendulums. You can make a pendulum your own, and you can buy them. A lot of people buy them that have the crystal with the little chain on it, and you can hold it. One of the ways I like to do it is have a rock that you found or collected somewhere, or something that means something to you. That's the whole key. You want it to mean something, and you want to feel that connection in your heart, in your mind, and your soul. So take this rock and you can drill a hole in it, or maybe it already has a hole. I actually found one when I was really young, just out in my yard, and it has a hole in it for a chain. And you know, I used to wear it as a necklace, but I don't anymore. I actually use it for a pendulum, and I may have showed that on a video before. I think it was like on a collab channel, but I really love using that because I find that that's more natural. But you know, crystals too, but usually when you buy those, they'll be the little cheap kind of glass crystals, so you know, you can make them yourself, or yeah, you can go and buy some. So another thing is Ouija boards. A lot of people are, you know, really negative about Ouija boards and or spirit boards, witch boards. a a lot of people don't like using them. They find that it's very and may unleash or open a doorway to something you don't want to happen. But I've got a video that's about contacting spirits and to protect yourself first. And I find that video, I probably should redo it because it was one of the first videos I made, so it's kind of choppy because I was really editing a lot back then. But when you are contacting spirits and you are going to use a Ouija board or a witch board, there's a lot of things that you might want to do before you board. Oh, it just kind of messed up. I think it's okay now. The video did. So you want to bless that board. You want to make sure you're protected. You want to make sure you have, you know, you're confident in knowing that you are protected with divine light energy. And, you know, you got to know it. So if you know that you're protected and you know that that light is shining out, that's going to deter every darker, evil entity or energy that's around. It's not going to come to that light because it doesn't like light. So, you know, if you're positive, if you're staying strong in it and, you know, knowing it, just like that thing about, you know, really putting that intention out, as long as you've got that going inside you and you're shining it out, you'll be okay playing with Ouija boards. But you might want to, you know, have a friend or somebody else around you that, or, you know, try to do some reading or something so you'll know exactly, you know, what's best for you to do in order to make sure you're protected when you get out a Ouija board and play it. Because, you know, sometimes, yeah, it can unleash darker spirits. I had an experience with that when I was younger, and I have a video on it. It's called A Scary Experience, and, you know, some people might say it was just in our head, but no, it wasn't, because there was so many things that happened dealing with a darker entity that, I mean, it was just a horrible, you know, just a crazy, you know, freaky experience. But you can check that out if you're interested, but it's like 30 minutes long. Okay, so the next thing I have up is looking within. Okay, looking within is also going to be a wonderful way that you can divine and seek guidance or answers. You can meditate, which means, you know, just go within yourself and sit in a quiet spot, you know, clear your mind of all the mundane and listen for the signs like that. Also, you could just sit, and this is one of my favorite ways, is to just a breathing method, you know, kind of just take a few deep breaths in and a few deep breaths out and let it flow and relax. And a lot of times you will get messages that you will feel in your heart, and you'll, you know, kind of see them in your mind, you know, kind of like a picture, like a pictured image. That's kind of how it happens for me. I might see, like, it might be kind of like a movie replaying, or an image pops up, or a letter or something, and sometimes it makes sense and sometimes it don't. That's why I always say it's important for me And what I like to do is write it down. So I can go back and, kind of connect the dots to each session, or just for whenever. Because sometimes you can just be sitting somewhere, and all of a sudden a sign pop up in your mind, or you see something that's like, wait a minute, you'll feel that energy building around you, and that sign's coming to you. Like, you'll feel that energy, like, like something. It's kind of like when you have a light switch go off, and you're like, oh my God, like, this is going to be really cool, like an inspirational moment. It's kind of like that. And I know a lot of you know what I'm talking about, because signs come daily, I mean, really they do. We just got to kind of get ourselves in that mode to be aware of, kind of being aware and in tune with the natural elements and your natural self. Okay, listening to nature, that's another wonderful way. If you can go out in the private woods, or in a forest, or just a park, and walk around and look, and if something calls out to you, pick it up and hold it, carry it around with you, keep it. Nature is a wonderful way to seek guidance. It will give you plenty of signs. It will direct you in the right direction a lot of times. Wow, it's getting sunny. I don't know what it's doing here, but it's getting black on the screen. It's kind of making different colors. But listening to nature is a blessing, because so many people feel so disconnected, and are so disconnected from nature. So my idea is to get back to that natural way, get back to connecting with nature, get back to feeling in tune with the natural elements, and being connected with the trees, the grass, the flowers, the sky, everything. Feeling that connection, how we're all connected to it. But anyway, you can get signs from nature just by being outside and just walking around, or just watching, just look around. Sometimes a bird may come by and, tweet in front of you, or that's a funny word. Just go outside and experience it for yourself, because you never know what nature may tell you. Another thing would be tarot cards. That's I don't know why I said like that. Tarot cards, because tarot cards is something a lot of people love to do, and love to use that as a tool for divination. I, as you know, like that steampunk tarot. I've been going through each card, spending, a week or two with one, just kind of getting my vibe and getting my interpretation of each card. So you can do that. Spend time with each card. It may take a long time, because it's 72 cards in a deck. So if you spend even a day with one card, that's going to take over a week. But that's okay, because you want to really experience each card and interpret it for yourself. Because what another writer or another artist may have experienced with that card might not be exactly what resonates with you. But the key and the deep source meaning of it is still there. But each person can interpret it differently for each person's path in life. So tarot cards is another wonderful way to divine. And another one is write down your affirmation or your request. Like, if you want to ask the universe something, or you want to seek some type of information, you can do it this simple way. You can write it out on a sheet of paper, bury it in your yard, put it into Mother Earth, seal that message into the ground, so that energy that you wrote on that paper goes into the earth, kind of envelops into the earth, soaks in, and up will come your answer. Now, it may not be right away, of course, but you'll know when that sign or that message is meant for you by burying it. And that's not really a method I use too often, but it kind of came to me, so I wanted to mention it, because I think that that's a wonderful way, and I think I'm going to try that, because it sounds really cool, just to write it out and put it into Mother Nature. And you could even write notes to Mother Nature. Thank her and write your blessings. So many people, I feel, don't feel grateful enough for what they have in their life. Because there's people that, just as simple as somebody not being able to see. That's something right there to be blessed with. Yeah, it's like, be blessed that you have what you have, instead of trying to seek more and more. Be balanced and be loving and be accepting and thankful for what you actually do have, because we are all blessed with so much. We really are. And the last one that I have written down is dreams. Dreams, of course, is a very wonderful way to divine. Sometimes you will get dreams that may project the future, like prophetic style dreams. Sometimes you'll get dreams that will mean something from your past, you know, or sometimes it'll give you signs of something. Now, every dream, and you can't interpret the dream to be exactly what the dream is, like in real life, because it comes in signs, like riddles. Like dreams are like riddles sometimes. So what I found is important is, and I know a lot of people do this, is to just write down your dreams. Even if it was just like an apple, like I woke up and I remember an apple. Write it down, because there's something that's meaningful about it. And after previous dreams, or not previous dreams, after more dreams after that, that apple may connect to something else, and it may be giving you a sign for something. So bottom line is, just look and seek for the signs and divine in everything. You can literally divine in everything. Divination can be as simple as you make it. It can be as hard as you make it. It's really up to you for your particular journey and path here to determine and decide what works best for you. These are just some of the ways that has worked for me. Besides the writing it down and burying it in earth, I really haven't done that. Of course, I have buried certain things in earth, but I haven't really like wrote down something and buried it. But I really think that's a wonderful idea, and I'm going to try that. So that's a great way to do it. Okay, so this video is almost 17 minutes long. I didn't know it would be that long, so I better go. And I hope you all have a wonderful weekend and a wonderful next week coming up. And I love you all, and I'm so excited to be here, and I hope to continue to share my spiritual journey with you all and different things that I find inspirational for my path. I will share it here. So bless you all, love you all, and speak to you soon. Bye.